There have been lots of reactions since the President and Commander-in-Chief signed the student loan bill into law. Well, for some persons, it's a good way to assist Nigerian students to cushion the effect of the tuition fee, per se. But some other persons are saying it's not a right step in a good direction. But to join us quickly, look at this segment I have from my immediate left, the NAS Zone B Secretary General, Comrade Ogiva Isaac. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
Okay, from my extreme left is Comrade Armstrong Ovie Afobo. He's the former NAS National Congress Secretary. Thank you so much for coming, Comrade.
Thank you very much.
Okay, quickly, let's start with you, Comrade Armstrong.
Yeah.
The student loan bill that was signed into law. Let's quickly take your take. Is it a good approach to cushion the effect of tuition fee?
Yeah, I think it's a very good approach to cushion the effect of tuition fee. But we also need to be very careful while we are talking about this law that have been signed. Because one thing that is not really visible to many Nigerians is that in public institution, what is paid is not called tuition fees, administrative charges. That's what you pay in public institutions. Over the years, as student leaders in our active days in the movement, we have had protests because of increments in such administrative charges and all of that. And today, there are some schools that are some specialist state schools that their administrative charges is just a little less than that of some private institutions. So now when you look at this law that has been signed by the president, you see that section 2 of it states that only those who want to use the money that they are getting for payment of tuition alone.
And it will be paid directly to the school. It will be
paid. They will have the way it is going to be is that you are going to have your own. When your data gets there, you have your own accounts. It's like your own portal.
Okay.
The money goes into the portal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that you are expected to use that money for the payment of only tuition.
So upkeep.
No, tuition.
That
is what the law says. It says for the payment of tuition. Now, like I just said, what is obtainable in our public schools is payment of administrative charges and not tuition. So, and okay, that was section 3 of it. And section 2 of the law says that law is going to be subject to other laws. So we do not know if there is going to be another law that is going to be introduced for tuition to be paid in public schools. So to that extent, I'm a bit careful on how, I should encourage anybody to embrace.
Okay, quickly.
I hope it's not a Trojan horse. But in the event that what is happening, because just yesterday, the leadership at the national level, the National Assembly of Nigerian State, had a meeting with Mr. President.
Okay.
And they had discussion. Part of the reasons was because of this law that he had signed. And I've been reliably informed that the president did not mention that there was going to be introduction of a tuition. So we hope that if there is no introduction of tuition and what they are going to be giving to students from that loan is to service the administrative charges that is currently going on, then to that effect is a perfect law.
Okay, so how will those in the public and private institution benefit from this?
Yes. First, let me give kudos to Mr. President for that bill. Those who are in the public school would benefit from this loan, and those who are in the private sector
private institution
might benefit for the loan. This you can't be in a public school and you are in a private sector. You think you want to come and benefit for that school. If you are in a private school, that means that you can take care of your tuition fee. That is why you went to a private
that you have
school.
The financial
capacity.
You have
the financial capacity to go to a private school. A common man cannot take his son to a private school where he will pay millions of naira. But that of the public school, you can reduce it. So this loan bill that Mr. President have done would make our youth have value for education. So many people have been dropped out from school because they can't access money to pay their tuition fee. So many youths, after their secondary education, you see some of them going to various activities. We ask them why. We don't have money to pay. And let me also tell you that some of those people are orphan. Some of those students, they are orphan. So they have to embrace this bill. And I was going through this bill yesterday and the day before yesterday. This bill is for both ethnic group, religious, gender, even disabled can even access this bill. But let me also tell you that what have advantage also have disadvantage.
Okay. So you want to give us the disadvantages, right?
Yes, I'm not too comfortable with this, the disadvantage of that bill. There are some courses 4 years, 5 years, and 6 years. So after graduating, you go for NYSC. Then 2 years later, you start paying 10% of the loan. What about those people that are not working within that 2 years? How will they pay? And the penalty is that if you didn't pay, you go to jail.
Jail term
for 2 years.
Okay.
So no, I'm coming, sir.
Right. Okay.
You go to jail for 2 years. Let me also bring this thing in. Those people who are reading professional course like medicine, medical laboratory, and nursing, after their graduation, some of them will go to internship.
Yes, internship, housemanship.
Yes, housemanship. Yes. Then some of them will go for service first before internship. Depend on which one come first.
Some do their housemanship before
NYSC. So, you know, for Edo, let me use Edo for example. We have 3 major hospitals that accommodate interns, which is University of Benin, Irwa Teaching Hospital, and Central Hospital. The NPC medicals just take few people. So that is to say, you have to wait. You have to wait for your time. If University of Benin is taking 100, for example, and University of Benin, they can produce up to 200 people in medical laboratory science. Abu Salih University can also produce 150. We have Igbenedion University there. We have Bensi Idausa University. We have Edo State University Uzare. So bring all of this together, we'll have up to about 1,000 people going for internship for medical laboratory science.
So we'll not have a long waiting.
We will not have a long waiting space. So if those people, those 3 major hospitals are accommodating 300, for example, so the remaining 700 will have to stay, and the upper year people will graduate
and join the queue.
So all this put together, this bill, this educational bill, President Tinubu has to bring a board, education bank, so that they will have a governing body there where student representative, because students are the major stakeholders in this aspect, and government representative, so that they would work together and see how they can add value to this bill.
Okay.
You can't expect me to go and collect money for a loan. At the end of the day, after 4 or 5 years, I will be unemployed.
So automatically, whoever takes the loan should get ready to go to jail. So let's come to Comrade Armstrong. In the 1970s, former head of state Yakubu Gowon started this bill. He signed it into law, and to an extent, it didn't thrive like that, because in the 1980s or in the 78s, it led to the Ali Must Go protests, student protests. You know, students went to the street and expressed their displeasure over the inconsistency of the process. Do you think this particular one will get a backlash, or will it survive?
Well, it will be too preemptive of me to predict the future. That's a prerogative belongs to God. That said, I want to quickly state that the bill, the law itself, was clear about those who would benefit from it.
That's good.
Those in the private institutions cannot be beneficiary. Like my comrade brother have already said, for you to be able to go into private school, it means that you know that you can sustain yourself. That's one. Then two is that the way I think they too would have learned from, the failure of that 1970 something law, and perhaps that is the reason why this law is a bit detailed, because as it stands now, they are going to set up a bank which is called the Nigerian Education Bank. And that bank is going to comprise of a lot of people from as it affects education and other, even the Nigerian Bar Association is supposed to be part of it, ASU, and the other trade unions in
they are going to be incorporated into it.
They are to be part of it. One of the things that the NANS leadership also went to request for in their meeting yesterday was that the bill clearly did not involve participation of students in the board. Okay. And so you cannot now who represents genuinely the interest of Nigerian students, that the bill is meant to serve. So that's one of the agitation. I think maybe at some point
there are a lot of lacunas there.
Yes, so maybe at some point there may be an amendment, to, but like as every law that is taken off again after it failed, the first time. Now, a lot of cautions and precautions have been taken in this. It does not mean that there are still not going to be some setbacks, because you cannot be perfect in whatever you do. So what is going to happen, what I expect them to do, is that they progress where there are lacuna, where there are problems, they will come in and make amendments to ensure that those areas, are covered. Another thing that I think that bill should have also covered, which it did not. The bill was ambiguous about how these students who graduate would secure a job. You understand? It was ambiguous. It did not even say anything about it really. So because if you say that upon graduation, 2 years after graduation, you start paying back, we all know that the current problem in Nigeria today is problem of youth unemployment. We also know that the conditions available today in Nigeria does not even encourage self-employment. It does not encourage young graduates coming out of school trying to become entrepreneurs. It doesn't encourage. The power is not there. Roads are bad. So these are infrastructures that build the fabrics of every nation to encourage business, especially small and medium businesses. Now these ones are not there. So how do you expect someone who has graduated and probably he's underemployed? Let's even say he gets a job, he's underemployed. At the end of the month, as a graduate, you are being paid 20,000. The 20,000 does not, maybe by the time you remove your cost of transportation for the entire month, you'll be left with 2,000 naira. And the bill says you are expected to pay back 10% of your earning, which means it's the 2,000 that is left for you that you don't even know how you are going to survive with, that you are now expected to refund back to government. So some of these things are the things that probably when implementation starts, the bill is a vision that it is the implementation that will start bringing out the substance, the material benefits that it will have, and also the shortfalls that we are going to see in there. So when the implementation starts, we'll say, but we are also going to be here to encourage, to advise, and to criticize when it is necessary.
All right, we don't really have time again because we need to start wrapping up now. Let's quickly come to Ogieva. There are so many unhidden charges in our public institutions. Now, we talk about the tuition fee. If you want to calculate other payments, it outweighs the tuition fee. So how can public institution benefit from this? Quickly, 30 seconds.
Okay, you have to weigh it as an individual. Yes, you have to weigh it as an individual that if I collect this loan, would I secure a job after graduation? Or let me do it the normal way. So in view of all this Bank of Education Board should regulate this tuition fee. They should regulate the tuition fee, because if I'm paying 500,000 as a tuition fee, at the end of my 4 years of study, I'm going to pay 4 million naira. Can I get 4 million naira in 2 years?
That's
after
big question.
graduating?
Big question. Okay, now let's quickly pause you. Armstrong, in Edo State, to an extent, we have some institutions that have huge public or state institutions that have huge tuition fee, and they're battling with it currently. How can we get out of this?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me reiterate again that public schools in Nigeria do not have tuition fees. They have administrative
fees.
Charges. That's what they have. However, like you have said, the administrative charges is even higher than what tuition fee should be if they were to be tuition fee. So now, how do we handle that? First is that the institutions are not really interested in looking at other source of revenue.
Okay.
They are only interested in getting revenue directly from the students.
Okay.
And so when you do that, you put the burden on the student. There are other sources. If you look at some institutions, they diversify, they go into other forms of ventures and business.
Comrade Armstrong, I'm afraid we don't have time again, but we'll like to come back again and have this discussion on a wider prospects. Thank you so much, Comrade Ogiva, for coming. Of course, Armstrong. This is where we'll be drawing the curtain for the program this morning on ITV. On behalf of the entire crew member, I'm Daniel Praise Osedebame. Have yourself a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.